There we go. I do believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again, for finding yourself on another conscious evolution. Today's stream topic is going to be one that feels like we've talked about before, but I came to a new layer, level, depth of conclusion. It is this understanding that our universe seems to be obsessed with change, right? Change is the only constant. Change is inevitable. You're supposed to get used to impermanence. Right? You've heard these things a million times before. But today, well, when I wrote down the stream topic, I had this sense of if change is the only constant, then surely there is some sort of energetic push behind it, right? There is something energetically pushing the change forward. You can call it entropy as well, which is technically something slowly destroying it and in doing so changing it. But I don't actually want to think about the entropy. We can think about the entropy as well, technically, as a type of energy. But my point that I'm trying to convey today, the aha moment I'm trying to get us all to feel, is the fact that you can align. You can align with that changing energy. And in doing so, instead of fighting something, now you have a universal constant, the momentum of our universe pushing you forward. Right? Like, I don't know if it's going to hit as an aha as deeply as I would like it to for every single person, but the way I'm seeing it is like as a story, right? And the one story, person has hopes and dreams, right? And these hopes and dreams need to look in their mind a certain way. And as they try and show up for these hopes and dreams, the world changes. And it feels to that person that as the world changes, their hopes and dreams just gets further and further away, gets more and more blurry, gets more and more destroyed, melted, if you will, right? And they don't have the ability to hold on to their dream, creating a sense of dismay inside of their state of being, right? Story one. Story two, you realize that the universe is constant change. So instead of creating a narrative in your mind of how exactly things are supposed to look like, you align with that change and you show up knowing that that's the way it's going to be. And in doing so, your life, at least in my mind, in this thought experiment, should be better because you are aligning with something that is going to be. Instead of trying to align yourself with a state of being that you idealize, which I still think is valuable, right? You are aligning yourself with a state of being that is inevitable. And by aligning yourself with that, you're, in my mind at the very least, making yourself stronger. You're giving yourself some superpowers. Mel's dressed like a regular civilian, shorts and a t-shirt. Yeah, if it wasn't for the scarf, people would think I'm a person right now or something. I'm going to go get some water on the scarf. It is a cooking out here again today. Let me just read the comments first. I was reading a post about Black Barbies coming to South Africa for the first time. Black Barbie was created in the 1980s, but was never available in South Africa until now. Bruh, we were lucky for what? 23 years? No? 23 years. 43 years. All of those little girls could escape all of those unrealistic body images. I don't know if they're going to just make it normal Barbie doll shaped, but with brown plastic or whatever. But I don't know if Barbie is necessarily good for the female psyche, to be completely honest, Joy V. So I don't know if this is a win for us. I don't know. Maybe it's a win to some, African girl that desperately wants to play Barbie doll. I don't know. Who am I to say, right? I know nothing. I just got out of a 3-minute cold shower and holy funk, that's a lot of change first thing in the morning. Doesn't it make you feel kind of, doesn't make you feel strong? That's the thing that kind of happens to me a lot. When I'm in that moment taking my cold shower and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm cold showering right now. Look at me doing this. Right? It makes me feel very strong. And then as soon as you get out of it, there's like extra good vibes coming along as well. Sending you blessings on yours. Dress like a civilian. Why you cold shower? Isn't it snowing there? That's true, actually. Goodness. I mean, I've taken cold showers a fair bit, but never in temperatures where it's actually freezing outside, right? Like shows outer world is freezing right now. Can I imagine how cold the water must be coming out of that spout? Javan, the hot water oven my shower has been busted as well. I briefly thought about an ice cold shower, but man, it would be ice cold. You would feel powerful though, Louisiana. You'll feel pretty powerful. You'll get a jolt, I can promise you that. Ho 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 to you as well. Thank you for joining us on this merry, merry day. It's not quite Christmas, but it is December, right? So every day is merry. I love my Barbies. I love my black Barbies the most. That's nice. I'm happy that you actually enjoyed. So, how long did you play with them for? Right? Like this is again my mind going to extremes, Joy Vive, where I imagine if I have kids one day and I have daughters, would I buy them Barbie dolls? I don't know. I don't know that I would. What would I buy my daughters? I can see this version of me, this egotistical as young person, as has no frame of reference as an individual, goes like, "Yeah, I'll buy you the toys I think are cool." And then I see myself 15 years from now being a dad and I buy whatever my daughter asks for, even if it's Barbie dolls. Bruh, I'm gonna grit my fucking teeth spending money on Barbie dolls. I'm not gonna have a good time doing that. Thank you. So, how long did you play with them for? How many did you own, Jovi? Like, because I've seen like literal boxes. Like, it's kind of dark, right? It's kind of dark. Like my the one side of my family has two daughters as cousins, right? Like my dad's brother had two daughters, Vinay and Shirai, and my sister basically became best friends with Vinay and Shirai, and Vinay and Shirai had Barbie dolls. They did, but then there's like these toy boxes where you keep these things in, right? And then there's this box with just what in my mind registers as a bunch of corpses. Just like a bunch of corpses laying in that box. It's kind of dark, yo. It's a little bit concerning staring into that box and just seeing bodies, bro. Barbie or not. Someone is loving this. Are you loving this right now? Love is true. Oh, no, no, no. How did I know you were going to do that after you said that, Joy? Did I miss a few? The black Barbies? I don't know. Duck Dad is here. Good morning, and all praise the miracles of pig pancreases. Pig pancreases. Am I missing something? Did I miss the memo, Duck Dad? Are we praising pig pancreases now? Let me get this a little bit higher. Right, I feel like there's a dark spot on this side of my face, and it's causing me distress. So I'm gonna try and technology my way out of it. That's really bright. Let's see if we can bring it closer. I love that all your Barbies were gay. I miss you. I used to be pretty anti Barbie, but I did some Barbies and faux Barbies. But I did have some Barbies and faux Barbies, and I love them. I cut one's hair really short. They were all lesbians. The lesbo Barbies. That is kind of funny, actually. As you go down, you go. The cold shower showed me a lot. Like my reactions have been so involuntary. The noises I made. Yeah. First time I've ever done it without prior strenuous exercise. Okay. So usually your body is a little bit overheated by the time you'll go for the cold shower experience. This time's a little bit different. I'm happy that you did it though. I think it's good for us to have a little bit of that shocking energy. I had a black Barbie too, and yes, she was so special. I always made her the most glamorous outfits. You made your own Barbie outfits? Or did you have like a bunch of outfits that you would dress them up in? Still need some invasive tests, but they have an idea what's going on. It's likely my pancreas isn't making its own enzymes for digestion and nutrient absorption. Bro, at least they're trying to, zero in on the actual problem, bro. That's a good thing at the very least. Hoping if they know what the problem is, they can know how to help you as well. Pancreas, right? The fact that we have multiple different things inside of our bodies right now that are independently functioning, and if one of them stop functioning, so do you. And we just take them for granted all the time. How can I attach today's stream topic to that? Change. How can you align yourself with the change of your organs? I think it's a little bit hard. It's a little bit out there. Oh, bless you, bro. I hope it goes well, man. I don't remember how long I played with my dolls. I remember moving one time and all my toys disappeared. I think my mom threw them all out. I think so too. That's probably what ended up happening. I'm sorry to hear that, Joy V. My daughter couldn't care less about Barbies, and I'm not mad at it. Yeah, same. I had so many Barbies, maybe enough to fill a cardboard box. Yeah, the bodies. The bodies in the box. I can see it. I Tria. Oops. Lol. Good day, Lovins. I Tria too. Bless you. It's nice having you here on B. Sending you Lovins. No, 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 no. Took some enzymes with food last night. And it's like night and day. I went an entire night without farting once. And I was worried. Been like this for 15 years. Your body just holding on by the grit of its teeth, dude. Finally, it's getting what it's supposed to get. I'm so happy about that at the very least, Duck Dad. Sending even more blessings, bro. I wasn't Barbie. That gave me issues. It was all of those fucking magazines that destroyed my soul. Made me think that my number one job in life was to be pretty. And I most certainly was not. Yeah, it's a little bit rough when it comes to stuff like that, actually, Lozana. Because like that is happening to a lot of people. And it's not just happening to our women either. It's happening to our poor men as well. It's happening to me, right? Apparently, I'm conventionally attractive, or at least I'm not conventionally ugly. And still, it sucks ass. It sucks so much. It's not nice. It's not nice being ugly. It's not nice being pretty. It's not nice living in a society that label you and value you based on how I want to be rude. I want to be like a little bit vulgar, right? Because this idea and this feeling makes me feel vulgar, right? Not like I want to be vulgar, but like I'm being vulgared. Does it make sense? Basing people or valuing people on how fuckable they are or not, right? That's the word I wanted to say. Like, that's vulgar, right? Isn't good for our mental health. Surprise, surprise. Maybe don't. Maybe see past just the flesh. Maybe try. I have a little bit of Skywalker OG in here right now. I have so little left. Some of your friends don't know, but we were having a little bit of a conversation last night about what package I'm receiving, right? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get myself some marijuanas. And then somebody calls me during the stream from the couriers and asks me a bunch of questions. And then they call me back after stream is done. And the oak is like, oh yeah, so by the way, our forensics team, he says to me, found cannabis in your package and now it will be destroyed. And I sit there, I'm like, oh, okay. You want me to do something about that? And he's like, no, I just wanted to let you know. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Great, great. Sent the dude who sent me the bud a message and he's willing to try again next week. Doesn't help trying to send it over the weekends because that increases the likelihood of it actually being forensic, I guess. Bruh. So, with that in mind, thinking I was gonna get my butt today, I mildly accelerated, or at the very least, partaked of the better bud I had. And now I don't have much of it left. And I have to get used to that change. Yeah, keep it topic relevant. I have to get used to that change. I have to try and align myself with that change, and it's definitely not easy. I have another little stack here. This little stick is so big. It does have hairs on it, so I'll keep it. I'll keep the stick. Fine. Okay, I think I missed a few. Minus not the not pretty part because I think you're so beautiful. Absolutely. I feel uh the fact that you are is something that should be seen as beautiful again, right? Realizing that this universe has a constant that is change, that it's going to change no matter what you do. You can be the most beautiful person in the world, and that will change as well. Maybe it's going to be different with our current technology going forward, maybe a little bit different, but ultimately, people used to get old, right? You used to be pretty, and then you got older and older until, by society standards, you were considered not to be, which in my mind feels like the opposite of aligning with the change energy, right? If we can align as people with the energy of change, we can see aging as a beautiful thing, right? We can see a person becoming older, a person's face changing, as they age, as something beautiful, right? As novel, as unique in and of itself, right? How is this person going to age? Like, what's this person going to look like when they age at 10 extra years or whatever? Maybe slowly but surely we can get there too. It's been my experience that girls who don't consider themselves pretty in their childhood come into their looks as adults. There, you were a very enchanting style lady. So much love. Thank you, Sam, for echoing that as well. Yeah, all of you friends are beautiful by nature. All right. Have you ever changed? Yeah, beautiful. Congratulations. You got beautifuls. Happy you take care of yourself. Yeah. I learned how to make a strapless evening gown out of a man's tie. I never thought I would read that sentence. That doesn't even make sense to me. My fancy rich uncle in Vancouver once gave me a whole pile of silk ties that he didn't wear anymore, and I made so many strapless evening gowns. Oh, multiple ties. That is really cool. Do you have photos of your tie evening gowns? I would love to see that. That sounds amazing to me. I just imagine like the most ultra scantily clad, evening gown because it was a man's tie, and I was like, how much is that gonna cover? Joy, take care of myself every day. True. Take better care. Take harder care. Take care too. Oh, might have taken that the wrong way. Love is true. It sounds fire. I have a whole closet of some very cool ties from corpo days. Maybe you can have an evening gown made for you too, Doug. Doesn't that sound nice, huh? I might have taken. I'm not I'm not conventionally ugly. Hey Google, define conventionally in a way that is based on what is traditionally done or believed. Yeah, that's the right word. Checks out. Checks out. Right, like I acknowledge that I'm definitely no Ryan Gosling, who's super hot to me. Ryan Gosling, yeah, absolute heartthrob. Chris Hemsworth. Weirdly enough, I do find Jared Leto really attractive. I do. Robert Downey Jr. as well. I don't find Tom Cruise attractive. Weirdly enough, I'm sorry, Tom. I think he's again conventionally attractive, but I don't find him that attractive. Brad Pitt, easy peasy, right? Uh, Johnny Depp too. I also find him attractive. Is there more? Who's really up there for me? Still, I'm coming back to Ryan Reynolds. Uh, Again, comparison is the thief of happiness. Don't let yourself. Brad Pitt speaking Afrikaans melt? No, I don't think so. Not from what I know, at least. It would be great for my mental health if someone told me I was fuckable. Yeah, I'm sure. Weird. Like, fortunately, Doc, that you literally have a child. Oh, so that's like pretty conclusive evidence. Oh, that you are in fact you have someone who is obligated by the bounds of matrimony to tell you those things, Doc. No, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Have you heard that part about how more than 50% of marriages fail right now? Yeah, there's a reason for that. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to embrace this experience. What's my intention? I'm gonna probably get super calm with this Skywalker OG. I'm gonna get like super. So I wanna set an intention with that in mind. My intention will be clarity. If change is inevitable, if I'm going to experience change no matter what, then I would like some clarity, right? So I can at least see what's changing as it's changing. So with that in mind, let's go. It's going to make you sleep with your thumb in your mouth. No, I will be my most energetic self despite this Skywalker OGing. Oh, bro, the wind is cooling my. There we go. One more cycle. I just start feeling it. Clarity amongst all the change. You are right, Joy Vive. I do have water here with me to drink, but I wanted to go get water for my scarf, so I still think I'm gonna do that. Then by the time I come back, I'm going to be fully in it. I can really feel it though. Right? It's not a bad feeling. It's not a overwhelming feeling. It's kind of like a friend, right? Like that feeling you get when a friend suddenly shows up or is next to you and you can look over at them and you can feel that sense of like, ah, my friend. I feel that sense right now, but it's inside my brains. Absorbed through my lungs at first, at the very least. I'm bringing a ball scarf back. Oh, there we go. Oh, 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 oh. I'm folding them out over my legs so they can cover more surface area. Yeah, that sure does it. I just have strange taste in men. I think I missed something. Let me skip up a little bit. Okay, here we go. You have someone. Didn't well, you didn't get that part of the vows, I guess. Okay, you beak. We love you, bro. You are totally fuckable. Duck that. I'm kind of sad that I said those words, but I'm happy for Duck Dad that I did. Yeah, you deserve that, Duck Dad. You deserve so much. All messages, thank you for the reminder. Joy Vive. Switch to it now. No, 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 no. It can be hard to be a supportive partner at times, especially if we're focused on taking care of ourselves and the kids and the home and ourselves, right? like the other part of ourselves as well. But everyone deserves to be shown love, absolutely. You got plenty of your own. Grow though, right? I'm still so confused. Like, do you all have terrorists? Why are they forensicing courier packages from the city? I don't know, Joyviv. Uh, what I think happened, what I really think happened, in all honesty, is these oaks, and like listening to this oak's voice who called me, I could I could hear that this oak knows, right? Like he knew exactly what he had in his hands, kind of vibe, Joyviv. Like he knew what he was holding, and he just wanted me to know that I'm not getting it, so I shouldn't freak out when I don't get my package. But he knew what was in that package, and he literally said, "We are going to destroy it by burning it." That was his words to me, right? And that can be interpreted as plausible deniability, like they're supposed to destroy contraband, I guess, or whatever, right? But you can burn it by smoking it as well, right? He's gonna destroy my weed by smoking it himself, him and his homies. So that's probably what ended up happening, Jovi, where they have like some sort of rudimentary scanner that every package goes through, and certain shapes, like a bag of weed, looks a certain way on a scanner, and that can be identified, right? And if you are the type of person who's like, "Oh, wait, free weed for me now," when you see that thing being scanned, then you have that power, right? You are in that position, and if you're gonna use your position of power to harm others, then that is very telling of you as a person, right? So, yeah, it is what it is. It is. So, I won't have any of that weed this weekend. And yes, I do still have of my own grow. But I'm aware of its age now a little bit, Joyviv. It's bad. Like I've completely ruined myself a little bit. Like now I do take things seriously. You friends have noticed that about me, surely, right? And it's the same thing with coffee. I take coffee seriously enough to listen to an online dude say, "Yo, you're supposed to crush your beans because you lose stuff if you keep the beans crushed for a long time and you don't extract the coffee." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool." And then I started crushing my own beans. And I've known about good weed, technically speaking, right? I've just never wanted to pay for it. One, I did pay for it at one point, and it was good weed, technically speaking, but it was just like pushing a certain button in my mind, right? At that point, I was still too unaware of how I am being affected by things because I still had like such a concoction of hormones and stuff, rushing my brain as well. Who knew what was making me feel how? I was just feeling in my mind high, right, from the marijuana smoke. And that was what it was. And then I think it's this little pipe of mine, right? This little, not a pipe, vaporizer, hand torch powered vaporizer. And then that 2 grams of bud I bought myself at the start of November. I feel like it was such a weird combination. And I'm trying to think of it like change, right? Like this is what's happening. Change is the only constant. As I move into my future, our future, right, there is gonna be more weed, for example, being grown. And this is now a small subsection, right? That change is infinite in scale. It goes into every single vector. But let's just pay attention to the one that is weed, right? People are going to keep growing weed. People are going to keep crossing strains. People are going to keep finding things they like, and they're going to try and seek out that information from that plant. Eventually, it's going to go into the fractal of gene editing, right? Like I'm looking forward to the first day I smoke freaking CRISPR edited weed, like it upped the myrcene content by like 500%. Myrcene is one of the terpenes that can give weed that fruity, mangoey smell, right? I would love that because then you're smoking weed, but it tastes like you're inhaling slices of mango. Doesn't that sound absolutely fantastic? So I feel like I'm aligning with this change of seeking out other people's weed because for the longest time I had a sense of pride. And it was very silly of me to have that pride. I think now in hindsight, because I was like, oh, I refuse to smoke anybody else's weed because I didn't grow it. And I don't know where it came from and what it went through, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Like I had like a reasoning behind it. And now I realize that even though that concern is still very valid, finding the right people and partaking of the work, right? Like that's what it is. It's like you're experiencing change that came from the human being, which is not only an experiencer of change. I think you experience change more so than an animal does, for example, when it comes to how you experience the change, right? Like if something changes, if someone suddenly, goes away or gets closer to you, I feel like I'm schooling myself in saying this because I'm looking through Pippi's eyes and I feel her experiencing a lot of change when I leave and I get closer to her as well. So I'm skirting lines here. But the point I'm trying to make is that you have this ability as a human being to experience the change of the outer world with a lot of depth, right? And then the same goes with your inner self, that you as a self change a lot as you go through life, right? And I don't know if that's the same for our animal friends as much, right? Surely they change a little bit. I've seen Pippi change a little bit throughout her life, but not a lot, right? Like there's no there's no evolution necessarily that's happening, at least in my mind, conscious evolution that's happening there for her. And I believe as a result of that, change bothers them less. To put it in a different frame of reference, try to look at this thing from a different perspective. In the future, 10 years from now, Pippi could still be alive, technically, 10 years from now. So 10 years from now, we live in a different world, vastly so. We probably have flying taxis. I'm pretty sure in 10 years, we're going to have flying taxis. We have humanoid robots everywhere, everywhere. Pretty much, I think billions at that point. We have billions of humanoid robots. We have much better, hopefully, please. We have much better public transit. We have better healthcare than ever with AI medicine. We have robots doing surgeries on grapes. That one was a little bit memeing, but I'm serious, right? We have all of this stuff, and you are going to be the one perceiving that change, right? Hopefully, you can perceive that change and be like, this is good. I'm happy we changed, right? Some people fear change. We're trying to align with this change that the universe wants from us. I don't think Pippi is gonna care that much. Not as much as you'll care. So you're already aligned with that change, is the point I'm trying to make, right? We are that, which is the change. Now we just have to accept that, realize it, and then use it as fuel to ride that wave that is change. I know this is a little bit esoteric, a little bit metaphysical, but I'm sure there's something there. Even to the point of actual energy to be harvested, right? Maybe Tesla was onto the same thing. Maybe one way to represent change is just the magnetic pulse that it outputs into the universe. And our planet is ceaselessly doing that. I'm here because Chicago. Did I miss a few? I did. Goodness. Your friends are making me happy with so much love in chat. Strange Station Man. Wait, still more? How is this even possible? Oh, bro, I'm still scrolling up. No, skimp. Okay, hey, okay, we're getting there. Perfect. Bethany, I don't mean anything against my wife, but 20 years together is different. We love each other to the max. But if some random person said that to me, it would be visceral. It's different. Yeah. I get it. Right? It's like a familiarity thing. Like my mind wanted to say something weird. And I don't know if I should say it because it's weird enough to to warrant not being said. But I thought it for a second. And I was like, it makes kind of sense, even though I've never been there. So I'm talking from a place of complete ignorance. That being said, the thought that I had is like maybe in some weird way, after you've been married for 20 years, it's almost like, so I can say this first. It's almost like they're family, right? But the way that my mind verbalized that realization is it's almost like it's your sister. So then getting that compliment from the outer world, right? It's like when your mom tells you you're beautiful, like that that's like, oh, that's nice, thank you, mom. But it hits different when a stranger from the outer world tells you you're beautiful. All right, so that's, I don't know if I'm understanding you, Duck Dad, but I'm sending the at least the one to resonate. Ryan Reynolds could get. I don't have photos of mine, but I posted some pics I just found in Discord General. Thank you. I'll go check them out. You have good taste in me. And Tom Cruise can go kick rocks. Oh goodness, I like how I was like, no, nothing against Tom Cruise. I just don't think he's hot, and more friends are like, yeah, fuck Tom Cruise. Fuck that guy. No, 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 not like that. He's okay. He's fine. Whatever. Go kick rocks, Tom Cruise. Oh, bro. Brad Pitt. There's a debate about the ghost. Lots of ladies think he got butterface. About Gosling? Really? Ryan Gosling has butterface? Nah, nah. I like his face. I mean, he has hot body too, but like, we'll pay more attention to his face. I'm taller than Tom Cruise for your information. What a king, dude. We have our Duck Dad Short King, but he's king of the short kings. Just a peck above Tom Cruise. Ackerman from Kung Fury is my unconventionally attractive crush. Hey Google, Hackerman from Kung Fury. Really? No, this is a meme. Surely, movies, please. Uh, okay. There's two movies. Like I got the I so this tripped me out for a second, Sam, and I want to trip you out in the same way because this is the first photo I saw. I saw the Hacker Man meme, and I was like, "This is your unconventional crush," and I was like, "I get it, I get it. This dude is already living in the year 2044. He's Hacker Man." But then it was like, no, that's not the right one, bro. And I don't know if the dude is gonna be saved as Hacker Man. Is he gonna be Hacker Man, JV? No, Sam, cast. No, I'm diving deep now. Goodness, bro, my buttons aren't working. I'm gonna take that as foul, right? And say I'm going to escape. My freaking I cannot click on the cast points. Let me getting scammed. Okay. I found Steve Buscemi strangely attractive. I I don't mind looking at him, right? So in my mind, that technically registers as attraction because I'm not being averted, right? Surely, surely, still some attraction there. Sorry, I was thinking Leo DiCaprio. He speaks Afrikaans and Blood Diamond. Oh, maybe a little bit, maybe for a few lines. I don't know if you can like spreken in the Afrikaans. That's not how you say it. You would say, "Ik weet niet of hij Afrikaans praat." Sorry, love again, dude. Skywalker OG going to make you sleep with your thumb in your mouth. Look at me, bro. Freaking cruising. I needed a little bit of a calm down. I took caffeine again for the first time in like 3 days. Caffeine no longer does it for me, weirdly enough. Not that great. I don't know why, weirdly enough. It might be an enzyme thing, actually. I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you for the reminder to stay hydrated as well, Javiv. What may be his kind and goofy charm. He's absolutely hilarious, and that's an attractive feature. The Steve Buscemi. Super Shame is a fox. There we go. Yeah. You didn't get your water love again. Strange days. I think it's confidence factor. He embraces his teeth because it gives him his own personal flair. And that loving his imperfection instead of being ashamed by them is very magnetic. Yeah, attractive, right? For me, it's his eyes. I didn't really have a fractal in my mind for what his teeth look like, but like his eyes, the way his eyes look, right? Like it's like there's something being said just by the face of a person. When it comes down to it, everything is a little strange. Embrace it. Yeah, right? The only reason it's normal for you to look at a human face is because you're used to it, right? Like I'm moving in different positions. You get to see me from different angles. And as I do that, your mind fills in blanks about what I am. If you were some sort of octopus thing, you wouldn't have the neural network, right? And that's why I keep saying, like, we're mirrors to one another. We basically facilitate this version of us as an outer representation of something. But the only reason you understand, you can see that outer representation of something, is because you are it, right? In the same way that dogs see dogs and go like, oh wow, and they smell each other's butts or whatever. There's a certain mirror, right? Like a dog will see a human and be super stoked to get pets or whatever, but a dog will see another dog and there's a different recognition that happens in that moment, right? Something changes when we see ourselves, when we see this version of ourselves. And I believe that thing that changes is a purity of reflection, the mirroring effect that's happening here right now. Maybe that's something we see attractive in other people as well, like with all of this confidence and the self-acceptance, right? Maybe seeing that self-acceptance is attractive because we want to see that in ourselves. When it comes down to it, up again, embrace it. Thank you for letting me. On a personal note, I'm dreaming a lot right now, every night for at least the last week. And they're the weird ones. Are you writing them down and potentially figuring out how you can utilize them as content in your writing? Yeah, yeah, life hacks. Right? Like we actually had this conversation, me and a beloved today, about thinking about like dreams as a level of self-exploration, right? And then maybe eventually getting the technology to have like a sensor, maybe like your bed rest is some sort of like sensor setup. And as you're sleeping, your neural activity is recorded, and then an AI basically through somewhat generative, somewhat one-to-one training is trained on how to reconstruct your dreams. And then you can like tell that AI to show you the most significant parts of your dreams, the most special parts or whatever. And you can dream a lot, right? For like a long time in a dream space. So who knows how much time there is that you actually spend dreaming if all of it is recorded. And then we can have like a whole subspecies of humanity that just spend 12 hours a day reflecting, watching their own dreams. They eat food, maybe they stretch their bodies, they exercise a little bit, they shower, and then they go back to sleep, and then they dream, and then they review. Right? Imagine like that as like a whole dream surfer subset of the species. Like they take up the change in technology, and they choose to change themselves as a species. They become something new completely. Instead of like embracing technology and integrating with the internet to become higher and higher level of advanced with like that subconscious energy, they go the exact opposite route and they go inward, right, with their own dream space. They still and then because the internet or like the sensor array is like something they can appreciate in the outside world with their vision, right? They can have it represented in screens or in a VR experience even. There's like a layer of separation that remains. I can imagine it being pretty cool. Like just thinking about this, it's creating even more layers of like, that would be pretty cool. On a personal note, love again to you, Sam. Again, hope it gets better at the very least, right? I don't know if the weird is good for you. I'm strange AF. I wouldn't know normal if it hit me in the face. Did you and I start a bomb mac and cheese franchise and fight crime in the evenings? Hit him up, Sam. That sounds like a cool story as well. Maybe it could be a comic book. Me nudging aggressively. Really though, I think we're here because someone found our ancestors attractive. So here we are, yeah. Relatively speaking, That's also true, actually. Someone found your ancestor attractive enough to have created you. That's some success. We have NGO. I see him in the chat. Don't know if you're still here. Sending you love. Love to hear Tesla being mentioned. Tesla was the OG, right? I feel like Tesla was probably the first. Like I'm gonna pick my words careful because I'm almost like deifying him in my mind a little bit right now. I think he was like one of the first highly evolved human beings, to say it in cringe terminology. Like he was on some level, right? Surely. And maybe a little bit before his time. I feel if Tesla existed right now and had a social media account and made YouTube videos of him building his projects, he would literally be a sensation. Like hundreds of millions of views and giga funding. He would have the money to build technology so far beyond our minds. So please, Tesla, teach me how to think in frequencies, vibrations. Frequencies, vibrations, and patterns. Yeah, patterns. Patterns we're trying to see. Slowly but surely. I'm here because Chicago winters are cold and dark with nothing to do. 6 months out of the year. Every living family member, besides the wife and the daughter, we're all burned September, October. Do the math. Can you grow indoors during those winter months if you grow in the basement? Or if you have a really good greenhouse? I'm curious, Duck Dad. I'm going to destroy this contraband by smoking it with my homies. That's 100% would probably, like, I'm 98% sure that's what happened. There's a 2% chance they actually did just put it in an incinerator. And that hurts me more, honestly. Like, I like the idea of some assholes stealing my weed and smoking it instead of me getting to smoke it more than imagining my weed going into an incinerator and nobody getting to smoke it. That hurts me more because there's like less change that happens. Maybe that weed they steal from me actually helps them reach a point in themselves. Like they use the medicine and it helps them reach a point in themselves where they're like, bruh, this was really nice weed and all, but shit, no, that was a dick move. Maybe I shouldn't do stuff like that. And hopefully through that, there is some sort of positive change happening in the universe. So I'm going to choose to believe that's what happened. All weed, damn, how much weed did you grow? For legal purposes, a little bit. I'll send you some photos or whatever. Yeah, like it's a bit absurd, like a little bit absurd. Yeah, like there seems to be something a little bit flipped in my brain when it comes to how I do things. It's like, oh, I'm not doing this thing, and now I'm doing this thing, and it's like between that gap, a bunch of stuff happens that sometimes I end up not really regretting, but being like, yeah, that was a bit much, don't you think? Don't you think that was a bit much? And I'm like, yeah, a little bit. An ounce out of one plant before, I had 3 to 4 ounces. So I think an ounce is 35 grams. Hey Google, how much is an ounce in grams? 28 grams. You 100 to 130 grams from a plant? Are you growing indoor? If you're growing indoor, that's still a good, harvest. But like if you grow outdoor, you can get a lot more from a plant. Like go up to a kilogram. So that would be 30 ounces. You can get 30 ounces from a plant. Even more, technically. I can't smoke that much flower. Yeah, no, it's hard. It's hard. Now imagine having more. More than that. Connor, your purpose to be Connor. Exactly. Everything else is extra. So beautifully said. CRISPR, red bud actually gives you wings. Bruh. Joe, to be honest, if there is some like $100 a gram weed out there that literally makes me fly if I smoke it, like imagine that. Just like let's just spend a moment, right? Like this is complete fiction, surely. But you can buy weed. It's $100 a gram. That's a lot of money. But you literally start levitating, right? Like your state of mind is so light and so free and so airy and so giddy that you just literally start levitating off of the ground. Would you do it? Would you find the money? See, that's the problem with any good experience, with any experience that changes you. Because that's why we do anything, right? That's why we do psychedelics. That's why we do alcohol. That's why we do weed. That's why we do vacations to different places. That's why we do conversations with different people. That's why we go out to places to eat or shows to watch. All of these things are a change. They're changes. And we seek that change. And yet we fear that change when it's not in our control, right? So, yeah, I feel like that's why drugs are dangerous. And I want to make that very clear, right? I feel I'm an advocate for exploring your own consciousness, but I'm also an advocate for realizing the stakes of what it is you're doing. Because once you realize you have the ability, you literally, all of us, have the ability to change our state of consciousness. One, mentally, physically, through like exercise or something like that, you can do it as well. Psychologically, by getting your shit sorted out, you can do it as well. But like to the extreme of certain substances, right? If you drink 10 coffees right now, you're gonna find yourself changed. You're not gonna be the same person you are right now. If you smoke a joint, changed, right? If you vape on your nicotine stick, it's gonna be a few seconds of change, but there's gonna be change, right? And then it goes into extremes where certain changes, because, and this is the way I think of it, like the change you get from something and how much you value that certain type of change shapes the experience you kind of seek, right? Where with stimulants, like in my mind, it's like a few categories of substances, and it is a little bit more full spectrum than that. But like when we think about like majorities or pathways, there's like I think four. There's the dopamine, there's the opioid receptors, there's the 2HA serotonin receptors or something like that, and then there is the adenosine receptors. There's probably a much larger plethora, but with those four, we can. Oh, and technically cannabinoids. So there's a fifth. So cannabinoids is like where you get your weed experiences from. Adenosine is where you get like your coffee experience from. Caffeine molecule represents the adenosine molecule, puts itself in that receptor, and then creates a stimulating effect. Right, makes you not be as tired. Then dopamine is like your meth, your cocaine, your technically sugar and caffeine a little bit as well. Again, they're more full spectrum than just one of these. And then there's your opioids, which is your heroin, your oxycodone, is that what it's called? Oxycontin, that type of stuff that bonds to your opioid receptors. And then there's the 2HA serotonin receptors, and that's the one I personally gravitate towards. Obviously, the cannabinoid receptor is also something that I definitely appreciate, but the H2A is the serotonin experience, and where caffeine or a stimulant that's a little bit more on the dopamine side, like cocaine or Adderall or Concerta or stuff like that, will give you a certain change in your reality where it's almost like you're a little bit more stimulated by it, right? Instead of having to change the outer world for it to be okay for you. And we're also skirting lines here again. You can focus a little bit better on what is right in front of you in that moment, right? And some people need that. Some people need that control over their reality when they need to cram for a test or write a paper or study a massive volume of information, right? Like sometimes you need that help, that change in your state of being in order to do that. And that can be, again, dangerous when it comes to the control we like having. Because once you realize you have the control to give yourself that ability to focus a little bit harder in that moment, it becomes a very slippery slope of how much you use that control. Because it's this weird ratio of the more you use your control to try and control yourself, the more your neurology, your actual neurons and your ability to adapt rebels against it, right? So it doesn't work quite as well if you overdo it, if you abuse yourself, right? Your body starts to be like, no, like that's not the type of change, right? You're changing me so much, I have to change to be okay with this change so that the change isn't so vast so quickly, right? That's like the way I'm trying to interpret it, keep it topic relevant. Where serotonin is kind of different to that, where dopamine will just give you this experience of like, yeah, yeah, this moment good, this moment good, this what you're experiencing good. I like this good, right? That's what dopamine gives you. Serotonin gives you something else. It gives you just information. That's the way I try to articulate it, right? Where all of them change you and all of them give you a certain type of information. The information dopamine will give you is approval, like you're succeeding in this moment. This is successful behavior. Serotonin gives you more information total, right? Instead of giving you a certain type of information, it just gives you more of all of it. And you don't get to control. You get to control your dosage, which will technically have a direct correlation to how much information you receive correlatively, right? Like if you take a higher dose, you're going to get more information. But that being said, you don't get to control the information you get after you have signed up for the ride of getting more information. You're like basically stamping your ticket for a movie. And once you're in the theater seat, you're strapped down and you're watching the movie whether you like it or not. And that like creates a dichotomy in your mind where your ego starts fighting against it, right? And that's why you'll hear words like ego death with psychedelics. And if you've ever taken psychedelics, that's where that sense of tension comes from before you go into the experience, because your ego knows it's going to now receive so much information that its little frame of reference, what it thinks the world is going to get melted completely open into the reality that actually is. Like your current experience apparently is a psychedelic state of being, that you are hallucinating this reality. And when you start hallucinating, you are getting closer to actual reality than you are right now. When you start experiencing all of the information available to you, that is closer to what's happening than when you only experience this good, right? Like a focused state of consciousness. But because that ego experience loses itself every single time you do that, it starts to fight against it. Where the last psychedelic experience I had was, I think, the 2nd of November or the 1st. Either the 1st or the 2nd. It might have been the 2nd of November. And it's now the 8th of December. And even though a part of me has felt like, maybe I'll eat a little bit of mushrooms, I don't, because my ego doesn't want to, right? It doesn't have that pattern forming. I get to, because I still have that control, right? I still have that control of I can eat a few of these little fungal bodies, these little mushrooms that grow from dirt or like water, technically, most of it, right? And then it changes my state of being. you don't seek that out necessarily quite as much. Weed, again, is like a matter of control because it still gives you some type of information, right? Depending on the different terpene profiles, depending on the concentration of THC and CBD, it gives you information, but it gives you back that control where your ego doesn't feel like it loses grip on reality quite as much. In fact, it makes reality a little bit more digestible, I found in my mind, right? Digestible in the way that it's easier for you to in some ways cope with what's going on around you, and it makes you hungry, right? Like you can literally digest, like it makes you want to take in information. Like if you can play games or watch a TV show after you smoke some weed, that is that ingestion that that experience allows you. And all of these have like different roles to play in our lives, I believe. And it's just about changing the narrative of how we use it, educating ourselves. Like I feel I understand these things a little bit, but I still feel like I'm so far away from actually knowing how to implement these things and how to be responsible and how to be a functioning person, right? Like I feel like I am a functioning person at the most part, but my mind is trying to ask itself, how do you compartmentalize reality? And I'm like, oh yeah, how about you stop doing that, dude? Maybe that's the problem. It's a freaking problem. Oh, okay. You have a super green thumb, normal amount from one plant. No, that's like a good amount from one plant. Like if you get 100 grams of good bud from like an indoor plant, you're a happy camper. No, no, no. Seriously, Doug, love again. Sam, have a weird brain. Same having weird brain sludge. You smoking a different strain, eating before bed. Both of those could have a difference. Joy, different plants are more productive, but the one I'm talking about was Jack Herer plant that stretched like a mad whammon. And I just got lucky. My average was 2 ounce per plant of others. Really? So that's like 60 grams. Yeah. Again, like you're happy if you get, 3 to 4. Funny, need to change. They're already perfect. Don't want to be gross, but this unfortunately is a gross topic. Growing plants, I'm almost in tears. It's hard to explain. Not to spend the first 2.5 hours in the bathroom every morning. And I feel like you have to go constantly. Bro, love is true, man. Fortunately, we live in a world where we have access to this medicine. Like, I'm so happy that you're just getting yourself the health that you deserve, dude. Taking care of yourself. This is what we're talking about. Like, you have been taking care of yourself, but at the expense of yourself. Now you're taking care of yourself at the benefit of yourself. That's how I'm seeing it, at least. Also, my pitch went really well. There he is, Connor. I was gonna ask, bro. I like even reminded myself. I was like, I was thinking about you, Connor, and I was thinking about your pitch meeting, and I was thinking about your animation, and I was thinking about these people looking at you, and I was like, "Er, ask Connor how it went when you see him again. Thank you, Connor, for letting me know. Maybe you still found the wave somewhere in the mind ether. Are you gonna send us? Are you gonna send us your stuff at some point? I still want to see it, bro. I'm happy your pitch went well. I'm almost in tears, love again. It feels like we're something playing out in my dream. And until I get to the end of whatever it is, I'm gonna keep going back there every night. Yeah. I like to call those experiences classrooms. It helps me mentally cope with that reality. Good luck, Sam. Good luck in the classroom. I'm sure you'll get schooled, but you'll be fine. We look forward to seeing you on the other side. I actually wanna have a whole stream topic on the fact that you can go to sleep, have a dream, and wake up a completely different person the next morning. Right? The fuck? I wanna have a whole talk about that. This is just a wild day. I'm calling that doctor. When they open and asked why no other doctor thought of this before, so much suffering. Today's a new day. Honestly, Doc Dad, the fact that microbiomes and enzymes play a massive role on our overall health is only really becoming mainstream right now. So your previous doctors might have just been a dirt a little bit for the longest time. It's not their fault. It's more like people being like, "Oh, you think a bunch of germs in your gut is gonna make a difference? Yo, turns out makes a massive difference. Hey Manchi, blessings. Sounds like your soul is not being sucked up to the toilet anymore. Glad you're suffering anymore, truly. Love again to you, NGL. We're having a very chatty day today indeed. It's nice. It's nice to see you, friends, so stoked to be talking. Happy for you, dude. I had thumb issues bad growing up. And the thought of you going through a similar pain as an adult of responsibilities, gosh, shows you how strong you are. And now now you're free. Love is true. Technology, come on, dude. Like we're gonna have literal uh individualizedly, grown microbiomes soon. I'm looking forward to that stuff as well. Pretty sure I have IBS. I don't know. I've had tummy troubles my entire life. Bless you and your journey too, Joy Vive. Go and get some help, maybe. Maybe go and find out if they have some sort of new biome treatment at your local, place of medicines. As an insight, dreaming means REM streep, and that's a good thing. True. Nicola was a rad one, crazy but smart. He loved the pigeon as one would love a spouse. Yeah, Nicola knew. Nicola knew that soul is right. Look conditional, sweetie, sweetie. I'm going to pet you, little kitty, kitty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't love Shelby as a spouse. I'm sorry, Shelby. I love you as a close companion. But Pippi, however, I can kind of see the love as a spouse vibes, right? Where there's this intention for me in the mornings when I wake up to make sure she feels seen and loved as well. It's like practice. Practice loving the universe in whatever way you can. If it's your kitty or the Burbies singing their little songs. And a squishy kitty. Oh, my squishy, squishy. Oh, squishy, squishy. Or I'm a squishing. Get this. You like being squished? Oh, squishy kitty. Oh, it's too much. Too much squish. I'm sorry. Okay. No, bro, please. No more peeing on me. As we lost your spouse privileges. I feel bad. I feel like I'm calling out Nicola as well. He's like, bro, don't joke. Not funny. Oh, it's kind of funny, Nicola. Come on, dude. I have a sense of humor, bro. It's fine to laugh at ourselves a little bit sometimes. But Shemi photos. Let's see. Okay, I'll go check it out. Dying, unfortunately. Restful. Also true. Like you can end up not getting the best sleep because you REM too much. But if it's within reason, it should be fine. Let's go see some Steve Buscemi photos. It's not looking good so far. Bruh. I'm just getting blank boxed. Oh, I love blank boxes. Black box is my favorite. The lack of information. Oh wow, so little stimulation. I love it. Part of me feels like there's like some sort of malicious, like a goblin in the back of my mind. That's like listening. And as soon as it's like, oh wait, this dude is trying to check out Steve Buscemi. Let me make him not work or whatever. One up star. Send some messages as well. Okay. We were talking about attractiveness. Can we talk about all of these Gen Z mullet dudes are wearing? I like to tell them I used to get beat up for having that haircut. Now they think it's cool. Celebrate them, bro. They're revenge wearing your cool haircut for you, bro. Maybe you should grow a mullet out as well. Yeah, why not, bro? Take it back, or be one of the youngins. Be a Gen Zer. It's like, what? We were talking about Steve Buscemi a second ago, so like do the whole "What up, fellow kids," right? There we go. It is frequencies, vibration, and pattern. Sounds like a fire name for a band, for an album. I think it would be actually. I don't know if the weird is good for you. Well, at least you're honest. What's the Aquanet duck? Love is true. They are 100% hormonal every month for 3 days each time. Since I had a hysterectomy, they're more random, but still always 3 days. The migraines, that is crazy. I had zero idea. That was the day. Am I missing comments? Happy Fractal Fridays, peeps. Yeah, it is Friday. Blessings to you too. It's nice having you here, Simon. Think I'm losing time. LA was going to mention earlier to Joy about the difficulties of being a lady. Those wild hormones. I had tum issues because of it. I had to skip class, cold sweat, passed out at the bathroom floor bed. It all stopped when I got a IUD. Not suggesting getting one, but exploring the spectrum of difficulties within existing and the ways that we cope. Change, right? A change you can make, and then life can be better. The fact that that's even possible, that we can make changes onto ourselves, and reality can change around us as well. Melty is talking sense. It's all chemicals. Yeah, I mean it's a lot of chemicals. I think there is like layers to it. Like intention makes a difference, for example. But surely, maybe intention can be represented as chemicals as well. So who even knows, Simon? Interesting, LA. It seems like something out to help. I wish I knew what it was. Love is true. Thank you, Nancy, for being willing to. Losing time. No. Duck Dad. Hey, Shell. Blessings. Serotonin, gasoline for thinking is how I think of it, Mel. Yeah. But that's information, right? Like when you get information, that is gasoline for you to think about. So I feel like we're on the same fractal there. So about love again, Shell. Thank you for saying hi to our friends. I'm on the edge of my seat regarding Doug's stomach issues. He's doing better, a lot better. Horizon behind melt looks like a tsunami. Yeah, getting washed by dirt, dude. That's like a if it's a tsunami made of dirt, which is even cooler. And technically, you can see it as one. Can you? No, no. Tsunamis tend to move fast and they tend to destroy things. Hey Google. Hey Google. Technically define a tsunami. A phenomenon we call tsunami is a series of large waves of extremely long length and period, usually generated by a violent, impulsive undersea disturbance or activity near the coast or in the ocean. Okay, so by the definition's sake, I don't think we can consider mountains tsunamis. But that being said, still, it is a series of large waves of extremely long wavelength and period, usually generated by a violent clashing of tectonic plates that push each other up, right? So maybe that is a tsunami, just slow mo on the scale of being a human, you know, it'll never hit me or whatever. But maybe over like 5 million years, that mountain is going to push up all the way to here or whatever. I don't know. Probably not. Some geologist is freaking doing spins in his grave right now. No. I had a psychedelic hangover the last time I experienced it because certain parts of my brains were stimulated more than usual. A psychedelic hangover. So obviously, my mind instantly starts kicking against that and wants to reframe it. Where I want to call it like maybe it's a psychedelic fatigue. Maybe because certain parts of your mind was stimulated. It's like the fatigue you get from like having exercised a muscle group you haven't exercised, and that you feel that fatigue and that weakness the next day. And it can feel like a hangover experience, but I still think of it as good. Like you have stimulated a certain pattern, right, within your brain, and it's good to do that sometimes, strengthening your mind. Playing drums now, I think, probably. The kind's here, but drumming while there's no one around to tell him to quiet down. I think it's good to learn chemicals of the brain. For me, it seems unnecessary. I think I find more help when I learn about the hemispheres and how to co regulate them with my nervous system and body. Have you done the hemisync meditations, Zano? Please do let me know. I think you would love it. Love it if you're into that stuff, because you'll have uh, brain chemical experiences, right? Like straight up, I've had really beautiful psychedelic experiences, completely sober, and sometimes only having smoked weed, right? Very psychedelic experiences doing hemisync, which is like the balancing and the co-regulating of different hemispheres of your brain and trying to get them tuned up. Like there's a lot there, so you can do both. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say, if anything. Use the brain, using the brain as the muscle it is, carving patterns and growing brain cells, and visualize throwing cold water on the amygdala during meditation. I don't know if you know this, Zano, but I feel cold to say it. Did you know that exercise, putting yourself in strenuous bodily positions, right, can literally grow thicker brains as well? Like, as you mentioned, like literally grow brain cells. And the way that I think of it is that when you put yourself in a strenuous position, let's imagine a plank, right? You're doing a plank. So you're now in this position where your arms is generating force. It has to continuously generate force, otherwise you collapse onto the ground, right? Your body has to remain solid, so your core is contracting, and your legs have to remain solid, so your thighs and your calves are extended. So there's like multiple points at which you are firing signals from your brain to contract those muscle groups to keep you in that plank. And every single point at which you contract muscles, it has to connect on a different part of your brain. And it has to continuously output that signal of contracting, 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 contracting. And that is like bzz, bzz, carving these channels in your neurons and making those channels thicker. And we literally have something called myelin seeds that get wrapped around certain neuron groups that make them communicate a little bit more efficiently with less latency and less loss. So, yeah, exercise can also be another tool in that kit of getting your hemispheres to sync up and growing more brain density. The more you know. No, not sure what you're using. I play video games when I feel too intensely to do anything else. The blue light, although migraine triggering, personally does help me calm down and start to think instead of just react. That's so good. Adrenaline anxiety, difficult to do, Shaw. Get adrenaline rushes. Do you have methods? Yeah, good questions that Zana was asking. Those are relative. Shell breath work might help, and I mean the heavy breathing. And I don't mean the heavy breathing or holding your breath until you pass out. Alternate nose breathing. So in, out the other side. And then again, in, out the other side. And then in, and out the other side. I'm seeing flowers bloom in my mind as I do that. Try it. It's kind of nice, actually. Can like help with the whole brain syncing as well. Anxiety that manifests physically and makes it difficult to talk. Adrenaline and shaking sweat too. Like I'm guessing in that case, if it is attached to the inability to talk, it happens more so in social situations than it happens when you're just by yourself. We need more context clues. Get deeper and deeper to what's actually there. So there's two types of those anxiety. Good questions again. Prep work helps. Might be the episode. I have to go AFK for a bit. We love you. We'll be here with you, Loazana, when you return. I can relate to the anxiety attacks. I think it's an anxiety attack. All the energy pressure in the head, the inability to see straight, the high pitch frequency overpowering all the noise, tight breaths. I have to step away and do breath work. If I find myself tipping over the edge and I spill my mess of a mind all over the floor, I got some nap afterwards because it's exhausting. That's usually what I do. If I feel something, it's like, and then I'm like, okay, you reach that point of like, and now you're gonna stop, and we're gonna take a deep breath, and we're gonna let it out. You're okay. You're fine. Get back into it. That's usually my coping mechanism. Since we're sharing. No, 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 no. Anxiety attacks are usually attached to a specific situation that you're worried about that comes up gradually. And a panic attack comes up all of a sudden. It usually doesn't have any basis in the environmental reality, more just thoughts of death, as an example. Thoughts of death cause me no anxiety at all, which I'm happy about. What experience do I get? Let's think. Oh, bro, I spilled some water on myself. Death, 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 death. What the hell, bro? As I start thinking about death, that bug is like, okay, let's take a moment of silence to think about death. Okay, so reflecting on death for a little bit, the first thing I saw that was like the fear-based part of myself was the like satanic goat horn imagery, and I was like, bro, fuck. And then I, I kept looking into it. I was like, well, guess I'm here for that. And then it went from that like 5-star geometry into like it extruded and it became like a little flower that was like pointing at me. And then it went from that little flower into, am I losing it already? Oh yeah, into what looked like a dagger, kind of like going downwards, like that same 5 geometry. As I was like looking into it, it extruded into what looked like a dagger. I'm losing it as I'm trying to reflect on it. What was the conclusion when I started to open my eyes? I felt like I got a message. Okay, now I'm just lost. When I closed my eyes again to think about it some more, I saw the dagger being pushed into what looked like a galaxy, and then that galaxy zoomed out to show the entirety of it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, death. I don't know what death makes me feel. Maybe it makes me feel space. Maybe that's one way to articulate it, right? Maybe at first there's a reflection of fear because that's how we've been conditioned. And then upon paying attention to it, oh, that's what happened the previous time. Goodness, how did I forget that so quickly? The dagger shaped ended up looking more like a pupa than anything. And then from that pupa, it had like wings unfolding into what looked like a butterfly. And then I opened my eyes thinking, oh, it makes me feel like rebirth. And then I completely spaced out as I started explaining it. I feel I like the galaxy one even more. Maybe rebirth is a sense of space, right? Thinking about like the worm's perspective of the world, where you have to kind of like yourself across the earth, right? Like you have space, you have all of the space available to you, but you're like moving through reality and like this little line. Now you're a butterfly, and now you can move in freaking 3 axes, right? That's a lot of space. So death makes me feel full or vast or empty, right? Depending on which perspective you take from it. Maybe death as a consideration can really allow us to feel alive, right? Maybe that can be anxiety driving. Technically, the experience of anxiety is proof of your aliveness, right? Because one of the primary reasons we get anxiety is as a sense of self-preservation, right? Like we're fearing for our lives. Like we think about death, and then that thought of death makes us think that we're gonna die, and that thinking we're gonna die makes us feel like we're dying, and then it's like a but that is proof of your aliveness, right? You are alive. The ability to feel anxiety is a proof of life. So maybe again, right, trying to align with it, thinking of it as a state of change that is inevitable, driven by anxiety, right? I need to get more food. That's pretty anxious. And it's kept us alive this long at least. Okay. No, 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 no. The pro mullet. I'm pro mullet. Like, how good would Melt look with a mullet with all of that pretty curls? I just rendered in my mind, and I don't think it would look bad, but I also think it won't always look good, right? Like especially this back area. I don't know about that. Thank you though, Joyvi, for letting me experience that change, although mentally. I will get an email or a call and find out I have to deal with something difficult on a call. Then I lose control of my breath and I shake. Is it because of the stakes? Is it because of the lack of control? Like you don't get to say no, and now suddenly this problem is yours to solve? Trying to dig deeper and deeper here. Mel, you're right. It was more psychedelic fatigue. Bless you, Nancy. I'm not trying to take your experience from you. I'm just trying to uh, maintain my ego, it seems. My ego is like, yeah, psychedelics is good. You don't get hangovers from psychedelics. You'll get fatigue, but not hangovers. Technically, you don't get hangovers because it gives you something instead of taking from you. But it's again, right? Your experience is so valid if it feels like a hangover to you. Sounds more like anxiety attack than panic I had before and passed out. Please look up at alternative nostril breathing and consider trying it for a chunk of time. It could, do you wonders. I'm going to find something and try practicing in advance. The stress of trying to will myself to be calm is painful. It'd be such a strain. Thank you, Mel, for demonstrating. Thank you, Michelle, for paying attention. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Insights is a social. Insights, it is social. It's knowing. I will have to explain myself. Yeah, Joe Bot description on point. We did read that one. Yeah. Have you tried yoga? Have you tried meditation? Come and join us for yoga meditations, Shell. That's the only real benefit or prescriptions I can give you. And that's the stuff that has helped me. I hate having to explain myself, same actually. So my advice, Shell, please, this is me not knowing, but finding what helps. First practice where you feel it in your body and learn to identify when they come on. Looks like you're having already done this, probably. Thank you for everyone listening, and thanks for advising me. We love you, Shah, of course. Second try, deep dive during meditation. Very good advice. Every day or when you can until you find out when this started, where it came from, and feel the waves of it while in a controlled setting. I'm curious about hypnosis these days as well. It would be really rough for me to trust someone enough to allow them to hypnotize me, but I am no longer opposed to it. I think like something shifted in me where I was like, maybe getting hypnotized is that bad. Thank you for offering up your own experience tools for Zano. Does number two come with a rebreather since it's such a very deep dive? I screenshotted everyone's ideas. Love is true. My anxiety is horrific. Simon, I'm hoping that maybe from this moment on forward, you can see that horrific anxiety as like real potent life, right? Like the most potent life you can get. Since you do smoke weed occasionally, right? Like, and you can be super happy about this nice potent weed that you scored. Be happy about how potent this anxiety is. Be like, oh, creme de la creme. I'm so alive right now. This sucks, but shit, I'm alive. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, right? Someone looks at you. Are you feeling it? And you're like, I'm feeling this life right now, right? Start screaming. I'm feeling. Oh, bless you, bro. Lastly, free writing about taking its power away, not being angry with it, but instead explaining it to your notebook as if you're asking you, how does the anxiety feel today? Removing it from your body with language. Very good advice as well. Mariah is joining us too. Hey, friend. How are you? How the boys doing? It's nice to have you. Mm, humorous when Mel's t-shirt, vivid colors. I'm happy you like it. This shirt is starting to age a little bit, but I still like it. It still has the psychedelic colors going for it, right? That's all it needs. The stakes, lack of control. My gosh, Mel. This will help me journaling. Bless you, Shell. Thank you for being willing to consciously evolve. We're proud of you. Narrative therapy sounds cool. All therapy is talk therapy, right? Ultimately. Was reeling on a lesson this morning when addressing fear. Do so in a way that inspires courage. Courage is transformational. To transform is courageous, right? To move past that fear. Back from drumming, we knew you were, bro. We were talking about you drumming away. I learned Merry Spidey Christmas, written by a singer from Fallout Boy. That sounds awesome, dude. Frazzled fractals frantically frustrate for fears, following freedom, forget me nots. Yeah, following those freedom forget me nots. What will a freedom forget me not be to me? Nobody gets to decide what I experience with my consciousness other than me, right? What I'm allowed to experience of my consciousness. That's a freedom forget me not, if I've ever heard one. Right? If I choose to consciously evolve, Kate, right? We get to consciously evolve. We get to pay attention to our experience and be like, yeah, my experience I'm having right now. But still, I'm happy about it. It's nice having you here, friend. Blessings to you, Kate. How are you doing? Today's stream topic is about aligning ourselves with the change. So I want to share a little bit. Call me out, be like, don't do that, Melt, if you don't like it. But Kate is very busy some of the time, right? She keeps things up, right? Change, like this is the fractal I'm trying to paint. Change is Kate's enemy, right? To her day-to-day fractal. If something changes, something breaks, something falls apart, some people move into a place and through the day-to-day life, change the place, paint the walls, move the fridges, scratch the floors, right? That changes her enemy. And the point I'm trying to make today, and I know it's hard, so hard, Kate, but trying to align ourselves with that change, right? Instead of seeing the change, the entropy as necessarily a bad thing, to be like, ah, this change is what gives me energy. This change is what propels me forward. And this is a good thing. Sending you love, dear friend. I hope it hasn't been too changey on your side of the world. Fantastic fam. Love. I'm happy to hear it's fantastic. I too learned FOB song this morning. I don't know if it's the same Spidey Christmas. Yoga is definitely helpful, but in the moment when I lose control, yoga isn't there yet. The point of yoga, Shell, and this is not the yogi in me speaking, is that you, through your yogic practice, realize that all of life is yoga, right? And my yoga that I give is technically easy mode yoga. It's easy peasy. And this is not me trying to be condescending. It's hard enough to still show you yourself that experience, that ability to do these things, but it's not so hard that you're like destroyed, like beat to the ground, I'm not moving after this today kind of yoga. And I've done yoga like that, right? And for me, during my experience, Shell, and this is why I'm highly recommending it, like I'm recommending it above almost anything else, right? Like above drugs, even above the breathwork exercises, right? Like they're good, but you're gonna do breathwork exercises doing yoga, whether you like it or not, because you're gonna need to. Like if you're putting yourself in difficult spots yogically, and you can show yourself, because that's the point of it, right? Like it's not a one-to-one, a perfect one-to-one, but it is a psychological toughness that you build where you literally put yourself in an uncomfortable position, a responsibility, right? If I'm putting myself in a plank and I'm like, well, I'm gonna set this timer for 2 minutes and I'm gonna try and hold this plank for these 2 minutes, you're you're technically signing up for that discomfort, for that challenge. But as you push yourself and as you show yourself that you are capable of going through this discomfort longer and longer and longer and longer, that codes into your entire being. I am capable of dealing with this high stress environment for an intense period of time and then see myself out of it on the other side, right? Like I don't know if I'm doing it justice properly in explaining it. To try and sum it up, by exercising, you train a part of yourself that is capable of enduring discomfort. And then when you experience discomfort in your day to day life, that discomfort relatively feels easier because of how much you know your own capacity to experience discomfort on the other side. The third super on a live stream. What? Let's celebrate their third. Oh, this is the third time you've done it. Bless you, Simon. Thank you, dear friend. Thank you for donating, for giving Fractal Friday donations. Love is true. I appreciate you. I believe in all of you, friends. I know exercise is hard, yo. Like it's kind of the point. Life is hard as well. Join us for yoga, Sean, please. I know it's early. I know. You can go back to sleep. You can. Just a little bit of toughness. Just a little bit. I invite you to it. Let me see what I missed. The being well, song and instrument. I'm doing well, thanks. I'm going to see Randy Rainbow tonight, so I'm excited about that. Hey Google, who is Randy Rainbow? An American comedian and singer. Is an American comedian and singer. Hey girl, it's Christmas. I like his glasses. I've never seen Randy Rainbow, but do you friends curious? I hope you have a good time. I hope you crack up and have a good few of laughs. Sending you blessings. Volume control, Doctor. That's so glad. Love a studio, but say more about that. Marvin, what is volume control? I just got a 200 page full color high definition photo seed catalog. So I'm a nerd for wanting to do Duck reads the seed catalog stream. Why would that be nerdy, bro? If only, like the only thing that I'm thinking is like getting like a really proper like overhead camera, like having like a stand for your phone that's like eye level almost, pointing down at the book, and then you like doing a reading of that. I don't know if that's copyright or whatever, but yeah, that would be cool, dude. Virgin flowers, guitar, and nobody puts baby in the corner. I doubt a dope tracksuit for myself. I bought a dope tracksuit for myself yesterday. I'll put pics in Discord. Bless. Look forward to seeing it. I'm walking the dogs right now. I never realized how every single step was affected by how my organs were sitting. They even found my compressed disc, which is from compensating pancreas pain. You are a strong man. You are. You are a strong man. I believe that. I'm happy that you don't have to strongman yourself through these complications anymore. I do the yoga every day with Melt and friends. I highly recommend it. Melt's a great instructor. Thank you, Joy. Blessings to you. You're a great student, like a fantastic one. So Viva's been showing up, even though she's waking up at 5 a.m. Yeah, I think so, right? Waking up at 5 a.m. to be there for yoga. She's doing Hang in there, Doc Dad, bless. I've been weed free for almost 3 weeks. Just something to be proud of. Bless you. So, a big thing to be proud of. I'm happy for you. Thank you, Doc Dad, for blessing me as well. Without this community, I would have never sought out help after being ignored by doctors for so long. I wish I had more to give, but you'll have to accept this in my deepest gratitude in the form of an air high five, bro. High five given. 20 bucks is a lot of money, dude. Bless you, man. Thank you so much for blessing me. I'm happy that this community can have this positive influence on your life, dude. Like, I'm thinking about this right now, right? Like, there's a fractal where Duck Dad didn't have this community somewhere, right? And in that fractal, Duck Dad went about his life, experienced these things, felt these discomforts, and didn't have this community to encourage him to kind of seek help the way he is right now. And he keeps living his life and he keeps brutalizing himself longer and longer and longer and longer until the wheels fall off. And now, because of this community, because of the change we have brought into someone else's life, that change is going to compound into a better and healthier and stronger and more vibrant and more fun loving and kinder Duck Dad for the world, right? And it is still you, Brother Duck Dad. Both of those versions are you. I'm just so happy that you're choosing this best version of yourself. This version of yourself that is loved. We love you, bro. Thank you so much for taking care of yourself, man. Again, thank you for your donation to this space, bro. You did the planet well, Mel. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Treat weed as a treat, Marvin. That is the best way forward. I think so as well. I treat life as a treat, homie. Weed is just another thing I get to do. Yeah, true. Life is the treat. Having this bug put frequencies in my ears right now. High five, Duck Dad. Yeah, more. You choose to listen. That's the way. Exactly. Mirrors, right, Sam? Us mirroring back to Duck Dad that actually it was all him, you know. Doctors ignore you because you have to get to the right specialist to diagnose you. Doctors find it easier to dismiss you or accuse you of being a drug addict rather than admit that they don't know the answer and and that another doctor might. This makes me sad to say, but I'm looking forward to AI taking the doctor's jobs as well. It's bad to say. I'm sorry. I don't look forward to the doctors losing their jobs. No, I just think there's like a whole thing there, right? Like a doctor can never, ever, 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 never know all of the data that we know about the human body and health right now. It's impossible. It would be unreasonable for us to expect that of a doctor. However, an artificial intelligence trained exactly on that data set will can still have a doctor that you can go to, but then that doctor is basically trained on how to use an AI model, how to take blood samples, like can do all of that stuff, right? Like maybe a doctor will still have to put his finger in your ass. I said it quietly enough, right? Please, right? But the AI is going to be the one that is going to tell him to. I'm just imagining that dynamic. I'm sorry, bro. The AI told me to put my finger in your ass. I was like, what can I do, dude? Bend over. No, stop. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah. AI doctors are going to be cheaper as well because instead of a doctor having to learn a specialist, type of like group of medicine and then having only so much time as a person to see you on that day and to put you through all of the tests and we can have an AI model that can be accessible anywhere there's an internet connection. Like that. No decades of training. All of the decades of training have already been done, right? We can give it to the more capable beings right now. And maybe then in the future, people like Duck Dad wouldn't have to suffer for how many years did you say? 15 years? Struggling with these stuff. Like you can actually, get the help that you need by just getting proper tests done, walking into a scanner and then having an AI model properly analyze that stuff. I had nerve damage, and it took 2 years to finally get the right specialist who diagnosed me in minutes. Now imagine if that specialist lives on your phone. All right, you send in spit samples. Maybe like blood samples will still be taken by people. I don't know if maybe you can have like a kit. Is that weird? Yeah, probably a little bit. Blood sample kit. Okay. Melt, thank you for again inviting me to the yoga practice. I can't make 5:30, but I found an 8:30 class on Fridays. Good. I'm happy to hear that, Shell. Blessings on your journey. Have you ever seen Idiocracy? I have, pretty sure. They used AI in healthcare. Yeah, it's gonna become a thing, right? Like, I feel the people who made Idiocracy were doing so tongue in cheek, and there was some validity to the idea they were trying to make, or as aware of as well. But they did kind of embellish the stupidity a little bit, right? We can admit that. Like in the AI is going to help us become smarter as human beings, not stupider. I believe at the very least, right? When you have a companion with you, like think of it like a very loving teacher, right? Like a teacher that actually loves you and wants the best for you, right? Like that fractal love, having something in your teeth, and a real friend will be like, "Hey, oh, you have something in your teeth. Go clean your teeth," right? Where a person that hates your guts will let you keep that thing in your teeth so you can embarrass yourself to the maximum, right? I imagine the AI assistants will have one day as the latter. Is that the right word? The opposite of the latter, right? The person that's going to tell you there's something in your teeth. Maybe you have a flaw in your reasoning, right? You look at something and you're like, oh, that person is stupid because they're doing that or whatever. And then this AI can be like, actually, they're not stupid. They just see the world differently, and this is the way they consider things, right? Or maybe you can think of it like from a little bit more of a more basic perspective, right? Like your perspective of the importance of bees, and then you're gonna have something that's like, hey, well, actually, bees are really important, and you should know this. Like that's how I imagine it's gonna eventually be, and that's gonna make us smarter individuals, right? Instead of stupider. Sure, maybe all of that information will get a little bit lost, but at the very least, we'll have access to it in that moment. Joy. Something just dropped on me. I had every test, top and bottom, that GI doctors offered over a 2-year period and never got anywhere. I thought I was just determined to live like this because I didn't have the desire or the energy to find a new doctor. The healthcare system is so hard on people. Yeah. Nobody deserves that kind of treatment, dude. You guys gave me the quality of life back. 1 hour of my back breaking labor at work seems very little in comparison. Dear bro, you're going to live a long. Use this as a mantra. Getting licenses is half the battle. Yeah, money is the problem there, not the people who actually follow their calling. Yeah, that's also true. Many people, just want to have the title and the money that comes with being a doctor, and they don't actually care about people. In the belly, not enough, just eat vegetable. I also thought you would think that's cool, Melt. The library in town I grew up in has a 3D printer that you can use with a library card. You just send them the file. They are going to do some Spidey parts for my Spidey bot for only 14 bucks. Nice, dude. That is super cool. When you mentioned to me that you're going to turn that RC car into a Spidey bot, I was like, okay. But now that you've mentioned that you're gonna have 3D printed parts, I'm like, oh, okay. I can definitely see it. The answer is bees. Yeah, the answer is always bees. Embellish disability? Hell no. They didn't. They didn't. People believe that JFK is coming back from the dead. The world is flat, and the moon landing was faked by Stanley Kubrick. Some people believe that, right? I would believe you would find that the majority does not, which in my mind means the majority of people are less stupid than the minority of people. There's a bell curve there. There's a bell curve. Most of us are somewhere in the middle, and that's fine. That's good enough, right? That curve will slowly but surely be moved. And if you have something that's literally a godlike intelligence on your shoulder, more realistically, a part of your face, right? Like as you look through this world, it's going to be a filter that goes over your perception that can literally have godlike intelligence. People are going to be smarter, or at least, at the very least, Joy Vive, look at me, act smarter. They might still be stupid. They might still be stupid. I'll give you that, Joy Vive. They might be even more stupid or cyst, but they'll act intelligently, and that's good enough to me. I'm fine with that. It's like I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying, but I'm still convicted. Bees just like wasps. They do. The wasps cure them. They actually say that there is a giant shortage of people that's going into medical school and coming out. AI doctors would be huge. But remember, AI has no empathy, which can be a good thing in medicine as well, right? Like, we don't need your empathy right now. We need you to solve a problem, right? Like, you have an issue, right? Again, right? And this is now the empathy thing, right? And this is where I can imagine the poor freaking AI getting canceled for this. Like a student or a patient comes in and they weigh 500 pounds and they have heart problems and liver problems and kidney problems. And the AI doctor is like, oh, I see the problem here. You are carrying too much weight. Zero empathy. And in that moment, that is what's necessary, right? Because that is the problem. So the AI is maybe going to have to be a little bit less than empathetic in some ways. And maybe that can be a good thing for our overall health. Just like all the doctors I've ever had. So I guess that's the perfect. Yeah. They also have to de empathize because otherwise it will be too hard on them psychologically as well. Let's just take those doctor jobs. Simon, everybody hates wasps, including other wasps. They are nature's biggest assholes, only next to Canadian geese. The anti-vaxxers very much believed JFK was going to come back from the dead joy. They were walking around wearing diapers and taking horse dewormer. They aren't using logic at that point. Yeah. And again, that's like using the information to like brain damage themselves instead of like help themselves because they have access to all of the same information, technically speaking, right? It's just where they find themselves almost like channeled. Boomers don't want to retire and are trying to take us to the grave with them. Good luck, bro. You mean Neuralink? Neuralink's going to be a big thing as well, but only like in 10 years, really. I don't think Neuralink's going to be a big thing real soon. AI is going to be a bigger thing sooner. Oh, no, 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 no. You laugh, Simon, but someone in your country got stabbed with a swordfish because no one could find a knife available. It's kind of absurd. Kind of hardcore though. Did the person die? Then I shouldn't say it's hardcore, right? If I got stabbed by a swordfish and I survived, that's pretty cool. I'm kind of okay with that, right? Like, what's that scar on you? Oh, I got stabbed by a swordfish. You mean a swordfish stabbed you? No, I said I got stabbed by a swordfish. There was a person holding it. They ran up to me with it. That's kind of hilarious. I'm going to have an AI doctor. I want it to be just like Dr. House, an intelligent and absolute savagery. You can probably have that setting. I can almost guarantee you, now that I'm paying attention to it, they will license good old Dr. House's likeness and his voice and his humor and his personality to some sort of, AI medical doctor service. And you're going to literally, and I'm saying this 89% confident that's going to happen, right? You're going to have Dr. House as an option for your AI doctor in the next 10 years, I imagine. The next 10 years, probably, even sooner, potentially. Discord General cut chocolate. Nice. I don't think humans will ever adapt to trusting a robot to draw blood for them. You are wrong. I'm sorry. I shouldn't just go straight for the gullet like that, but I think you are very wrong. Humans are going to allow robots to do everything, guaranteed, and soon, because it's a matter of statistics, right? Like, we like statistics as human beings, weirdly enough. If I tell you, human beings, when doing this brain operation, never mind even drawing blood is like kids play at this point. In brain operations, in actual putting blades and little hands and little strings in your brains, humans will kill you 12% of the time. Here's the stats of all of the people who have had this surgery and have had it done by people. Here are the stats. And then there will be stats emerging where all of the people that had this surgery done by robots. And that stat is going to become better and better and better and better and better exponentially. And then eventually the number is going to be like, yeah, you can take a 12% risk of getting killed on the operation table, having a person with shaky human flesh brain stuff you, or you can have a robot with perfect actuators that can literally move down to fractions of a millimeter, right, with precision, that has a 0.1% fatality rate. And if you're going to take the 12% over the 0.1, then your trust is in the wrong place, right? So I feel like it's a matter of statistics, that like it's going to be better at the job. And whether or not people want to trust it, it's going to be despite the point, because it's going to be a public safety risk, right? It's going to be the same thing with like self-driving cars. So self-driving cars are going to become a thing, and then the statistics are going to become more and more and more and more skewed to the point where a self-driven car is going to outperform 7.9 billion people on the earth, and then there's only going to be a fraction of people that actually drive a car better than the actual self-driving models, and then it's going to become probably illegal to drive a car on the public roads. There'll still be exceptions, I believe, like race roads, or like even little cities that maintain the right to drive their cars themselves. But when it comes to the eventuality of it, we're going to let robots do everything because of the precision, because of the mortality rate reduction, right? Like if the point is to stay alive, then it is irresponsible to let the human being do certain things, like drive a car, if there's better models, like do brain surgery, if there's better models, like having your blood drawn, if there's better models, right? Because the way I see it is, and I've had my blood drawn, I've like donated my blood a few times. The person literally straps the thing around your arm, and then this vein starts bulging, and then they go with their finger like, let me see what it's like here, and then they go with their finger and like push a needle inside that vein, bro. And that, like there's some trust issues there as well that I have a hard time with. That's the current reality of having your blood drawn. Now, let's fast forward 20 years into the future. You need to get your blood drawn. You go to a medical clinic. There's a machine with a comfortable seat where you put your arm down, and it has a pathway. It has infrared. It can. I don't know if X-ray would necessarily be possible. Potentially, just like sonar, right? Vision. So it can literally visualize your veins in 3D space, and then can put that needle in you in a way that it's perfect every time. Like it's not hitting the walls, because that can end up happening, right? Like actual people will do that. They'll hit the walls and you'll have like a blue mark on your arm for like 2 weeks because they fucked your shit up, right? Like that has happened to me as a person, having it done by another person. And then when the stats come out that the robots have a 99.9% success rate of not messing your arm up when they draw your blood, no chance, right? No chance I'm gonna let you touch me. This robot's gonna touch me now. Sounds kind of weird. Like it's gonna go weird as well, 100%, right? Hold on to your loved ones, because the robot's gonna try and take your bodies. Not in a Terminator or possession way, more in a I'm gonna stop, please, while I'm ahead. I don't think humans will ever have to trust a robot. I mean, after like 3 generations, when it's all that's available. But anybody who's seen a robot movie is noping out. Bruh, the robot movies are brain damage. Don't let yourself be brain damaged. It's significantly easier writing a doomsday scenario, and it's significantly more clickable, psychologically appetizing for the human psyche at this point of our existence to write an apocalypse story than it is to write a story of potential utopia. So that's kind of the narrative we've been running with. But that is not how it ends up being, dear friend. Like my dad straight up 100% believes we are going Terminator route. He thinks we're going to get Terminated. That's what my dad believes. And I'm like, bro, why would you, of all of the things you can believe, why would you believe that? All right, that thing's a little bit grim, don't you think? Oh, no, doctors are assholes. Nurses are empathetic, I have found, I can imagine. Because they actually have to work with the people. I'm only going to look joy. If I don't see your face, I'm keeping myself, my mystic picture alive. Chocolate we're talking. Lounge, Feller, customer, beautiful mind. Absolutely right now. Absolutely love a robot drawing my blood because the amount of humans playing my veins for rolling, causing them to have a stick me multiple times, get an IV. Yeah, yeah, you see. You see what I mean? Joy Vive knows exactly what I'm saying. Right? And a robot with a array of sensors can literally see in 3 dimensions all of your shiznit, right? Exactly where your vein is. And it has a precision arm that can completely align that needle so it can pull your blood without actually harming you, or at least reducing harm. Ain't no human touching me. If the robot can do it better. I need to stop saying that. That sounds so suspicious, bro. Like eyebrows raised, like what the fuck are you saying? Oh, I don't know. Let's game up now. No, 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 no. No. Yeah, we control our veins. Yeah, because yeah. Last blood test. They took 5 vials. That's a lot of vials. Same joy. I think I trust. Phlebotomist. The nurses always miss and have to wriggle the needle around for like a minute. And then I get these giant bruises for about a week. Did you say the giant bruises were about a week before I said it, or as I was saying it, or after I said it? That's tripping me out. Yeah, 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 yeah. When they draw your blood. Me currently sitting in the waiting room, hoping they don't have to draw my blood again. Love you. I hope they don't. I draw it like a splat, shaped like a teardrop. Love is true. Let's pull a card, shall we? We've already been here for 2 hours. How did that happen? Apparently, time flies when you're having fun, right? Thank you, friends, for being here with me, for having this conversation, for aligning of change. Like this freaking bug is screaming his little lungs out again. It's not that loud to me, or at least I don't think it's that loud to me because my ears start tuning it out, but it really is loud for you, friends, I believe, and I'm so sorry about that. 29? Let's see. Let's see which card will we pick today. To you, friends who like the synchronicity, we had Simon donate in pounds, I believe, and Duck Dad donate in dollars. And with those two currencies combined, we got exactly a 26.26 on chat. Hey, Google, define the spiritual significance of the number 2626. The angel number 2626 carries a message of love and nurturing, emphasizing the importance of maintaining a harmonious and balanced relationship with your partner. It is a reminder to prioritize your relationships and put in the effort to maintain trust and communication. How about that? Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's see which card we pulled. Bruh. If I pulled card 26, I would have done a triple backflip. But nay, card number 59, The Secret Garden. We haven't pulled this one in a while, but it's a cool card. There's this jaguar, I believe it's called. Technically, we call this a leopard, a leopard in Afrikaans. But I think they call it a jaguar in the reading. Plants surrounding it, little foot in the pond, person swimming in the water, the spiraling, little flowers. Yeah, 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 yeah. Secret garden. And then you had the 9 again, Simon. You had the 9. Leopard. Love you. Left to Shan the Discord for you. Gotta run. Love you. Jovan. I'll see you again soon on the other side. If you don't hear me complaining about the high-pitched streaming bug, it's because I'm enjoying stream too much to bitch about it. Do you know what kind of bug is making that re? I wonder if I can do that with Google. Let's see if it's there yet. I don't know. Is the point I'm making. Let's see. Let's start a new one. Can I start a new one here? Do I just refresh to start a new one? Okay. Hey Google, can you please analyze this Hey Google. Hey Google, can you please analyze the sound you hear right now and tell me what bug is making that sound? It's probably not going to be able to do this. Nope, doesn't have the necessary capabilities. It's loud. It's kind of loud. It's a constant, continuous rhythm. Okay. Not a buzzing, not a rasping, not a humming. Is it a buzzing? It's a type of buzzing, right? Okay. Buzzing, loud buzzing, continuous loud buzzing. And I live in South Africa. Okay. It is a continuous high pitched buzzing that is pretty loud. It is a continuous high pitched buzzing that is relatively loud. And I live in South Africa, in the Mpumalanga area. Let's see if I get some information doing it like that. It's just Quang cicada, straight cicada. It might be a cicada. It might be a locust. It might be some sort of beetle, some sort of fly. Nah, some sort of moth. Nah, 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 nah. It thinks it's a cicada. It might be one. I don't think so though. I think that's some sort of wood-eating beetle. I think it's some sort of wood-eating beetle because it happens only outside next to this tree and there are no visible cicadas on the outside of it. Yeah. I am specking to the artificial intelligence, giving it more information and it gives me more information. Oh, a longhorn beetle, a bark beetle, a powder post beetle. You see, now we're getting closer. So bark beetles are small beetles that bore into the bark of trees. They can cause extensive damage to the trees and their presence can be indicated by the presence of small holes in the bark. And it does have small holes in the bark in some places. The beetles make a high-pitched chirping sound that is produced by rubbing their wings together. The sound is not as loud as the buzzing sound of a longhorn beetle, but it can still be heard from a short distance. There are multiple different species of bark beetles found in South Africa, in Mpumalanga. So it might be a bark beetle, and I think it is. I think it is, in fact, a bark beetle. But it might also be a longhorn beetle. And these are large beetles with long antennae. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They make a high-pitched buzzing sound that is produced by vibrating their wings. The sound can be quite loud and can be heard from a long distance. Yeah, this might be a horn beetle then. And there are a bunch of different species. So it's one of the two. There we go. We kind of got an answer, Joy V. How about that? It's either one of these dudes or it's one of these dudes. But it's between these two that's making that sound. The more we know. Now we get to see at least like approximate a face to the voice. It goes non-stop. It must be exhausting, bro. I mean, it's technically rubbing wings together, but vampires would never be wasteful of their bloodstock. What? Sometimes I wonder if the phlebotomists are vampires that take so much blood. Lol. That is kind of hilarious. Maybe. Maybe they, like suck the blood out of those bags as soon as they go behind those closed doors. Probably not. I wonder, love again. I think they're crickets. They might. I don't think they're crickets. Crickets. There is crickets. Krr, 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 krr. Crickets have like an oscillation. This one is like non-stop, continuous. I bet there's an app for it. I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm not downloading any apps right now. Our crickets make alternative sounds here. No long, loud pitch Yeah, we found them. I love the sound, just harmonizing with the earth. That's the way I'm trying to see it as well, Luke. It's like it's a frequency being outputted by an entity right now. In the same way, I'm outputting frequencies. Who am I to say that my frequencies are more valuable than his or hers? So I get to generate frequencies alongside, and that's the universe we find ourselves in. Love the sound, love again. Protein, then beef pound per pound. Nice. You should start eating beetles, dude. I hate that sound. It eats into my brain. Mole cricket. Could they continue to be an illusion created by two or more of the same species chirping? No. I doubt it. I think there would still be some overlap. And because when they stop altogether, right? I feel like there would be like a if it was like a chirping. I eat moths that invade my apartment. Got all of my facial expressions out. Cool. Oh, who am I to say that's weird? Free protein or whatever. Could continue to be again. If you look up mole cricket, that's the sound. Maybe it's that. Hey Google, what is a mole cricket? We do have those here as well. Might be one of those. It's not an attractive bugger though. Especially at that size. Yes, they're smaller than that at least. Still big though, relatively speaking. Hey Bippy, I have them in Animal Crossing. Do they scream in the same way? One more time, looking at this card, and then I'll read what it means. Your friends ready? Card number 59, the Secret Garden. Safety and protection. Maybe that's good to bless us all with safety and protection as we align with change. Did I put it upside down? I don't know. I'm gonna assume no. Your sacred garden. I'm gonna leave my microphone there. Your sacred garden is a place of shamanic journeying. It symbolizes a safe place from which to create a vision of your intentions and to gain a better understanding of your life experience. Ask for guidance, and you will probably meet a spirit guide. Change something in your garden, and something will change in your life. Some sacred gardens are public, others are quite secret. You are invited to enter this secret garden through the water. Feel safety, peace, and serenity as you swim in spirals and float at the water's edge. A geometric vortex lies in its center, activating the vitality of this card. Climb out of the pool and relax with this beautiful jaguar. He will protect you and guide you to your own truth. In this safe place, you can even cuddle up with the jaguar, empowering yourself and facilitating soul work. The message of this card is of safety and protection. You may be looking for assurance that a decision you are about to make is in your best interest. You might also be asking for a friend. This card represents a protected place where you may more easily connect with your higher self and tune in to the wisdom and integrity that dwells within. In the secret garden, you are safe and protected by this powerful guide. You need not let doubt and fear cloud your vision. You may be assured that you may be assured that as you calmly intend a positive result and envision the outcome as already complete, you are setting into motion the answer to your inquiry. Didn't I talk about that literally at the start of the stream today? Like trying to create a new frame of reference about today's topic of change, right? Like it's almost like they gave you advice about how not to be happy, a little bit. But at the same time, they also gave you advice of how to bring about the change you want to see. So I'll let slide. I'll let slide. Pineapple on pizza. Yeah. It's good. It's nice. I like it. Come at me, internet. Try. Why not any weirder than you eating pineapple bark? Pineapple bark is great. It's not that bad at all. You just have to cut it thin. Pineapple husk, not bark. I eat the pineapple husk. Bark sounds better and words are fun. Pineapple on pizza. No, I eat the bark on the pineapple. Kachichoy. Nudge, nudge. You had better not be putting pineapple on pizza. I'm gonna put lots of pineapple on the pizza. Right? I'm looking over at Sam and I see her fuming, and I'm putting more pineapple on the pizza. Is your Discord working yet? Let's see. Yeah, it is. One of them is. I'm okay. Okay, more photos are loading. I'm seeing an upside down kitty cat. I'm trying to see Hacker Man now. I'm still waiting for those. I got to see the previous ones. What you say? Hey. Only meant well. So much lovin's. There is the tracksuit that Joy Vive got herself. So chic, so shiny, so schwade. Bro. Why are these previous photos not working, dude? This seems like a scam. It's like, yeah, you can see the new ones. You can see Joy Vive's tracksuit, but you can't see the rest of the photos. So you can see upside down cat, but you cannot see hot Steve Buscemi. Buscemi, yeah. You can't see that, bro. Not for your eyes. And I want to see handsome hacker man, glorious mullet dude as well, but no mercy. Is there a true nature Shazam? There should be. I hope so. If there is, Shazam! No superpowers, bro. That sucks. Yeah, I accept. Fine. I'll continue. You know I loves it. Do you food criminals think I won't cite your asses? Try. Puts more pineapple. I agree with Sam. Fruit and pizza don't mix. Puts banana. Like in this one, I'm doing just to be spiteful. I don't do the banana on pizza either, but just to be spiteful. Bring it on, Sam. I would give up my pineapple love. I also like it. I'm Team Kristen. It seems. Pizza with peaches, pineapple, maple syrup, marshmallows too. I think we're pushing it now. Now it just seems like a dessert. I've had chocolate pizza, by the way. It was also not that bad actually. It wasn't good. Like I'll put that in the record, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't like Zano, that sounds like some awful Brazilian dessert pizza. Yeah, I've had those. They're not that awful. They're not like I'm gonna buy more forever. They're like I'm happy I tried this, so I don't have to try it again. They're not bad like that, you know. Okay, I'm gonna read our Shan message that our beloved Joe so beautifully left us in our Discord. You friends ready for our end message? Oh, let's go. Have the most beautifulest day, everyone. Your four reels are so very muchly macho grande and bigly lovely doved. Masterful Meltmore, and all of you oh so very exquisitely, tenderly, whimsically, benevolently, endearingly, rapturously, genially, ardently, affably, wholesome, humanimal critter creatures aligning with change. As we started reading this message, we had the change of my light no longer working. Hot diggity damn, what a full stream. Lessons have been gleaned. Gleaned is not a word. Hey Google, define gleaned. Yeah, extract information from various sources. Gang. Information has been gleaned. You want some kalimba? Do you want kalimba? Type 1 in chat if you want kalimba. Type 2 in chat if you don't want kalimba. All right, and we'll weigh our options. Red beans and vanilla ice cream, a Japanese specialty at Baskin Robbins. I didn't enjoy the red bean puddings in China myself, or the bean puddings. They're not awful. Liver and lemon. Okay, now we're entering like war crime territories. Now I'm okay with the citations. Tuna, mayonnaise, and corn on pizza, a Japanese specialty at Debonair's. If you bring the tuna, mayonnaise, and corn pizza to the pizza party, I'm calling the cops. Zana putting two ones. Okay, fine. Okay, the crowd has spoken. Kalimba it is. Mm, Simon, Japanese mayonnaise, as you know, is quite delicious. And their tuna is good too. So you can't go wrong. You approve? You approve of the freak? I'm sorry. I'm getting dramatic now. Are we gonna look at the skyline? Play some kalimba? Yeah, I'm gonna just do skyline. Yeah, that's so sexy. Nice. Man, Mother Nature. So hot. So beautiful. I also bought myself a digital food scale. But no photos. It's not as fun as 80s style tracksuit. Good, good. Like getting yourself a digital food scale is a fantastic way to accurately measure your calorie intake. Because ultimately, food gets burnt. It gets disintegrated as heat to continue powering your body. So, in other words, how much your food weighs is how much fire. Sana was like, just make sure that there's this one here, meaning I want, in fact, kalimbas. You bought yourself a digital food scale. Will you actually use for food? I bet the company would love to hear from someone who isn't a stoner who uses their product. That's kind of hilarious, actually. Joy Vive just buys herself a scale to make sure she's getting the correct quantities of weed. Okay. Microphone has now been set up, Zano. Sorry for spacing out. I'm turning it on. I'm getting my timer set up, and we're playing some kalimba. That loud, continuous bug gave us a break as well, just as we were finishing the kalimba play. Those buggity doos are still cricketing away, and those little birds in the background. Little kitty here, a beautiful sunset there. Me. Yeah, how about that? Kitty is like, come on, dude, do that thing. You want me to do the thing? Do you? Okay, fine. There you go. That's not enough. That's not enough, you say? You want more? Fine. She's like, bro, hey, we stop. We stop. Meow, meow. Sky. Can we give us a nice, cute little meow into microphone? Meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow. Just purrs. No meows for us. Yeah, sweetie patootie. You're being super cute now. It's true. Is my chat loading? There we go. Are you making my nose itch, Kitty? Am I blame shifting? My nose is itching though. She had to run. Joe put the Shan message in Discord. We've already read it. We already read the Shan message, technically. Like we read it before the kalimba, right? Because you asked about the Shan message when we took out the kalimba. No, we read the Shan message before we played the kalimba, and then you asked about the kalimba because usually we would play the kalimba before we read the Shan message. Our dusk and dawn both similarly loud there, loud in different ways, but yeah, like there's different sounds that happen in the evening or the dusk that happen in the mornings. It's kind of nice to notice the difference. But that frequency bug, took his break, took a little coffee break, and ate his donut, and now he's back at the job. What am I doing, kitty? This little creature trusts me so. You want to sit on my lap? She doesn't really like being on people. I don't think she grew up with that being a part of her fractal. She was technically a rescue. She was like a mole cat. You know those cats that live with the moles? She was one of those. And then she got SPCA'd. And then they were gonna put her down. And then we snatched her out of her little cage. Yeah. Brought her to a safe place. Yeah. Where she can survive a little bit longer. Experience change. Isn't that right, sweetie kitty? Isn't that right, sweetie? Yeah. Isn't that right? Oh, so kitties. Wow. There's just like a soft mat on the floor right now. Gouges, yeah, so gouges. You hear that, kitty? People think you're beautiful. Can we stop? Oh, what are you stopping? Looks at hand. You freaking creatures. Can you believe this? Like, I'm holding onto her entire arm with like my little hands. Can you imagine allowing something that has a hand the length of your body almost to touch you? Plop down in front of it. Kristen. That is the message that Joe sent us. I hope your friends did hear me read it, but I'm happy that you posted it in chat as well so it can be there for documentation purposes. Have the most beautiful day though, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. The cats aren't lap cats either. They still love to cuddle me just on my lap. Yeah, like Kitty will come and push up against my legs, for example, and like push up against the bottle, but they're not lap cats. Also not like hold on to cats. They also don't like that much. One way ticket to Melt Garden, please. Love is true. We need a Shan checkout message. Thank you, Simon, for asking as well. To weigh my protein and carb sources. I don't care about the weights of veggies, but they're low calorie. Yeah, it's true. Those are important to measure out. I felt dizzy when the mole cricket stopped. It does. It's interesting, right? Like your brain adjusts, and then as soon as that frequency goes away, it has to like readjust to that new state of reality. The change, right? The change. People are talking about the change. So the universe is like adding layers on layers on layers of teaching us how to handle the change, how to align with it. Discord chat, thank you again. At cats. Okay. Love is true. Our time is over. Bless you, dear friends. I love you so much. And I'll see you again. One rotation of the earth, right back here. Sending you blessings. Thank you for joining me, friends. Until we do this again. Goodbye for now, everyone. Cheers. Cheers.